Welcome to the VHS podcast. I am your host, Daniel Glazier. I'm a certified personal property appraiser, and I value stuff for a living. Thank you so much for listening. Please like, subscribe, and share so we can grow this podcast. I want to talk about today a system that I've come up with, and this is a system. It's for estate planning, but it's so we can prevent a lot of chaos and problems and our families being torn apart after we die. So with just a little bit of planning before we die, we're going to save a lot of chaos for our family after we die. So it's a system I've come up with. And I'm going to tell you why I've come up with this system. Is I'm a certified personal property appraiser, and I've been doing it for 25 years. And I've dealt with hundreds of estates. And I see the same issues and same problems over and over and over and over again. And you go on and on. And it's people fighting and not getting along, and even families, I see it getting torn apart. I even see it go as far as litigation because there was no plan for the stuff that people owned before they died. So after they died, their family didn't have to try and figure it out and deal with it. To understand, after we die, people think, oh, my kids get along. Yeah, they'll be fine. They'll deal with it. Oh, they can deal with it. Oh, my stuff's not worth that much. Who cares? What are other things I hear? Oh, the house has got all the value and the cars, but the other stuff, it's not worth much. Let's not worry about this. Well, in the average household, there's thousands of items. And value isn't just monetary value. Okay, there's a sentimental value. The historical value. I'll explain all that. So my system I've come up with 25 years of dealing with all this time and time again. I call it the VHS system. And what does that mean? It's the V is the most valuable items. The H is your family heirlooms, and your S are your sentimental items. And the sentimental items, it's sentimental to you, but it's also what's sentimental to your family and your children. So, why this system? Why the VHS? What I've identified over the years and years and years, and thoughts and seeing all the problems, I realized those are the items that cause the most problems. So in the average household, we have thousands of items, but it's not the thousands of items that cause the problem. It's probably about 10 to say 30 items, maybe 40 items that require some attention before we die. So after we die, there's not all this family drama and chaos. So how does it work? It's quite simple. You're going to get a notebook, and you're going to list. You're going to have one category of valuable items. What are my valuable items? And you have to decide the number for the valuable items. Is it all my items over $100? Is it over $50? Is it over $1,000? Over $500? I like to use the sweet spot of, say, let's use $500. But you have to decide your value. It depends on the size of your estate, how many items you own. There's a lot of factors. But let's just go with everything over $500. You're going to list all the items. It's also what you think's over $500. You might not know. You're going to have to. I'll talk about this after, but you're going to need an appraiser to also help you with this. So you're going to list all your valuable items. The H, the family heirlooms, and you're going to list all your family heirlooms. And what's family heirlooms? There's items that were probably passed on to you, and they have some kind of family historic value or historic meaning to them. And you're going to want to also pass them on to your kids or grandkids. But if you list them, they'll know the story. And the sentimental items, that can be very basic items. A lot of times the sentimental items, they don't have much value, but they have the most value sentimentally. And that's what can cause a lot of problems. And it's not just what's sentimental to you. It's also what is sentimental to your family. So there's going to be some discussion about all this. So this is just part one. There's going to be a 4-part series. So this is generalizing, letting you know what my system is, the VHS system. Part 2 will be I'll explain, go in depth about the more valuable items and what you can look for as far as most valuable items. Family heirlooms, we'll talk a little more about family heirlooms so we can help you sort out what is actually a family heirlooms or what you want to be a family heirlooms. And the sentimental, values, we'll go even deeper into that. What's sentimental? Because I think it's really important. You need to speak to your family about this. We don't like to talk about our death and estate planning, but I'm telling you, we have to change that narrative and we've got to start planning, because if we just do a little bit of planning and if you follow this VHS system, you're going to save so much problems for your children or your loved ones or whoever is going to inherit your estate. But another thing is, I see it. I see families torn apart. I see families in litigation. I see family who never speak again because they start fighting over this stuff. Emotions are high. People are grieving. They're not at their best. So we need to make it easier. So that's the VHS system. More depth as we go along. So make sure you go buy a notebook. That's the only call of action I'm going to do. Go buy a notebook and you can start listing rough notes, what you think your most valuable items are, your family heirlooms and your sentimental items. Start by getting a notebook and doing that. And then we'll get into more depth in the next podcast and the other 2 podcasts preceding those. Thank you so much. Dan Glazier, the Value Stuff Podcast. We're here to try and save our families, at least save them some pain. Have a wonderful day.